all my subscribers and friends a wonderful Thursday evening. Tomorrow's Friday, right? That day we get all excited about because it's the day before the weekend. I've had a lot of people ask me, hey man, why are you not making a lot of videos lately? And that's just, to be honest, because there's so much going on. I'm not complaining. I'm staying very busy, making good money, but the chances of getting into the studio and actually recording, it's been rather difficult the last 2 weeks. But I'm going to step it up again. Monday onwards, get back to that same rhythm. And you know, I get a lot of good feedback. I get a lot of good links. I get a lot of good screenshots from drivers sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, sharing their earnings every single day, and that's amazing. Don't let up on that. Let me just switch off my navigation quickly because it's interfering a little bit. New York is in the house. Yeah, just give me a shout out where you are. Where are you? Maybe people have seen that Lyft is finally moving into another country. They bought Free Now for $200 million. They are moving into Europe. You know, I've been waiting for that move for ages. But again, I hope they pay the European drivers. Now, I'll tell you what, the European drivers, especially like France, by the way, this is what we deserve here in the United States. France, the starting point is $10. Starting point, right? So, you know, Lyft is going to have to comply in Europe the same way. Why can't we have the same here in the United States? Why can't we have a starting point of $10 for the trip, right? Starting point, UberX, bam, $10 and then plus. Now the thumbnail that I shared with you, if you get a chance, look at the thumbnail. And they are offering, Uber, I want to give you an example, $5.04. Let's call it 5 just to be, you know, just to be even, $5 for 22 minutes online. Let's call that like 1/3 of the hour. Now you project those numbers onto the hour, that would be $15 for the hour. That is under California minimum, right? But that doesn't even take out all your costs, your gas, your maintenance, your tires, your brakes. And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing that I want to share with you. It includes 5%. This is what they advertise. They think that drivers are stupid enough to fall for this bullshit. You know, we have standard mode and advanced mode, and they're trying to get drivers to step it up. Oh, you can earn more in advanced mode. What, a whopping 5%? But here's the funny thing. That trip of the $5 that I shared with you in the thumbnail, that includes the 5% advantage mode, the advantage mode payment. Now, if that's not a joke, Dara Khosrowshahi, and you know, like, you all know my friends that Dara Khosrowshahi is my best friend, right? He is my very, very, very best friend. I'm just being sarcastic. 5% advantage mode included in that fare, and he thinks he can entice you, right? Like what the fuck? I have this button that I love so much. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, Dara? Seriously, Dara? $5, which includes 5% advantage mode? Oh man, please do not make me laugh. And when I saw that, I mean, and they're like, okay, are there any suckers out there that want to take a trip for 5 minutes, 22 minutes, and 5% advantage mode included? Now, you pretty much have to work your ass off to get to advantage mode. And when I made this first video, when they came out with standard mode and advantage mode, drivers like, hell no. Why should I grind and do all this extra work to get into advantage mode so I can make 5% more. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. And it's the same psychology that they are using with the Uber Olympic Games, you know, the Uber Gold, the Uber Platinum. They like try to like make it feel like, hey, you can get onto the podium and win a gold medal or a platinum medal, but you got to work more, you got to grind more, you got to hustle more, you got to drive more. And people quickly figured out that the Uber of Olympic Games, you know, all these categories, right? Not worth it. There's no real rewards. There's no real money. Busting your ass trying to get into advantage is just absolutely not worth it. For what, right? For what? Chicago in the house. I've already have New York in the house. Chicago in the house. Let me know. Barstow, California. Oh, by the way, here's a good one. Anybody out there in Texas? I'm flying to Texas, I believe, April 22nd or April 23rd. I bought a very, very rare Porsche 911 Turbo, 1979 one. Mint condition. So I'm going to fly into Dallas, pick up my Porsche, and then I'll probably make some videos while driving back. I got to drive this damn car back. And I know, I already got 4 speeding fines in Texas. They're hardcore. They don't mess around, those Texas cops on the freeways. So I got to strictly stick to the speed limit, which is going to be very difficult in a 911 Turbo. And 1,300 miles. The trip is going to be 1,350 miles back. My guess is maybe like split it up in 2 days, right? Split that up into 2 consecutive days. Oh, Dallas fourth. There's Dallas in the house. Metro, sweet. I'm in Texas. Black cast. Summer in Texas. So I'm going to make another video once my purchase contract is finalized tomorrow morning. I had to put a $15,000 deposit. I wired it to them. I'm going to fly out, pay the difference, sign all the paperwork. This is a very, very, very rare Porsche. In California, I could probably sell it for $200,000, the Porsche. So these old cars, 70s and 80s Porsches, the Carreras, the Turbos, up and up and up and up and up in value, just like the old muscle cars, the Camaros, the Pontiacs. They go up and up in value. But that's just because I'm excited, because I love cars. You know, they say boys and their toys. Girls can't often relate to that boys really love their toys, their cars. But I'm a car fanatic. So that gets me excited. What doesn't get me excited is $5 with 5% advantage mode included. So if anybody's out there that like gets all excited about advantage mode, and you want to stay in advantage mode, and you're hustling and you're grinding to stay in advantage mode, let me know. I'm just curious if there are people that see benefits in advantage mode. But I don't think there's anything wrong staying in standard mode and cherry picking like a champion. Just cherry. Thanks for the hearts there. Much love back. Girls like their toys too, just different toys. That was funny. I'm sure it'll give a lot of girls a giggle as well. They'll laugh at that comment. That was a good one, John Jones. That was a solid, good joke. I'm going to give you 9 out of 10 for that joke. It was a good. You made me laugh. That's great. We need to laugh daily, my friends. We have to laugh daily. It's very important. Muy importante. Sehr wichtig. Baie belangrik, soos hulle in Holland sê, to laugh daily. Please. If you're not laughing daily, just check in with yourself, right? Just check in with yourself. I get a good kick out of Instagram videos or TikTok videos. There's a lot of funny shit out there that makes me laugh. And I love it. I get addicted to it, I'll be honest. Some people smoke, some people go and spend their money in a casino, some people have a sex addiction. I have addiction to those second videos. I mean, can anybody else confess having an addiction to Instagram or TikTok videos that are funny? I'm talking about the funny stuff. I only forward the funny stuff to my family and friends. But I'm just very, very curious to find out who or which drivers out there, you included, get excited about Advantage Mode. I mean, are there real, true advantages? Help me out here, right? I believe drivers need to approach this the following way. Time is limited. Autonomous vehicles are on the horizon. Fact, I certainly found that out when I went to Harry Campbell's Curbivore event in LA. It was all about automation, robots, autonomous vehicles, food delivery robots. I mean, shit, there was just so much frickin' automation and robotics there. I was like getting dizzy, but it was good. It was a huge eye-opener, right? So reality is just around the corner. These people are too eager to replace real humans, you and I, with robots. And that's why I always push, hey, become a private driver, build out your private clientele, Jeff Watts from Mic Drop Barbecue also, build out your private clientele. Why? These type of people don't appreciate autonomous vehicles. These type of people have the money and they don't order autonomous vehicles, right? And these type of people definitely don't order food from a food delivery robot. They don't have to. They'll go and wine and dine in expensive restaurants, but they pay for service. So I just really try to get as many people enrolled in private trip driving. So roads right now, I'm looking at them right now, extremely busy. It's 6:30 p.m. in the evening. The trip from here, I'm in Calabasas, driving to the airport is almost 1 hour 40 minutes wide because it's spring break, and people are on the way to the airport, right? And people are leaving to go traveling, and tomorrow's going to be another wave. Passive income says no advantages in that mode, all trash. Yeah, you know, you're right. It is trash. It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face by these CEOs. It's insulting, my friends. It truly is insulting. It drives me mad when a guy like David Risher goes in front of the cameras. Yesterday, I made a video on this, and I'm not fabricating this. I'm not making this up. This is fact. He goes in front of the cameras, and drivers are earning more than ever before. Hold on, buddy. What dream do you live in? What world do you live in that a CEO can say drivers are earning more than ever before? It's not true. Just allow me to share with you, Mr. Khosrowshahi, the screenshot that I have for this, or the thumbnail that I have for this live feed. You're offering drivers $5 with 5% advantage mode included in that deal, and you're expecting them to drive for 22 minutes. Where in the world, please show me, please prove to me, and David Risher and Dara Khosrowshahi, that drivers are earning more than they have ever before. That is a lie. And sadly, in these days with social media and just all this convoluted messaging and all these videos and all this information and blogs, there's just so much fake news. And I feel like these CEOs keep on pushing that fake news. Oh, let's tell the media that our drivers are earning 70%, the guaranteed 70%, and highest earnings ever. And they say it so many times that a lot of the public believes it. But I tell you, who doesn't believe it is a rider who takes a trip, who is paying you a pretty, or is paying the company a pretty astronomical fee, and then the driver says, may I share with you how much I received of your $100? Yeah, absolutely. In the media lie, the Khosrowshahi lie. Tony Zoo's a little bit camera shy. He doesn't go in front of the camera, but we hear the CEO lies over and over and over again, and a lot of the public start believing it. So anybody that is or is coming across this video has never driven Uber or Lyft before, and maybe you're thinking of downloading the passenger or the rider app. I'm sharing this video with you. I'm sharing this thumbnail with you because I want you to see that, or see and understand, as a rider, they put us in two classes. They think that, oh, there's the standard, the peasants, and then there's the advantage, the royalty, the kings and the queens on the platform, and they earn 5% more because they have an advantage over the common folk, over the standard drivers. So I want riders and passengers to understand this is the psychological game that they are playing with us, right? This is the psychological game they are playing with us. And the same game that they're playing is also that, like the Olympic Games of Uber medals. Oh, you drive more, you can get a gold. Drive more, you can get a platinum. Be an average, be a standard driver, be an advantage driver. It's all a game. It's how they can game the system, how they can extract more from the driver. And they're very successful in the beginning with newbies. Newbies get very, very excited in the beginning. It's all like the honeymoon phase, and Uber and Lyft send them a couple of good deals, and they get really pumped up and really excited with all the wording and the medals and the gold and the platinum and the advantage, and they're like, newbies suck that up like a vacuum cleaner. But I'll tell you what, once a newbie has been out there for about 2 months, have another conversation with them. Then the tide starts turning, right? It was high tide, now it's low tide. Low tide means, okay, we got you in our system, we got you in our little hamster wheel. Now we're going to play the little algorithmic game with you, and we're going to squeeze you like a freaking lemon. We're going to squeeze you like a lemon. And they literally, my friends, I hope I get a little laugh out of this, right? They literally take your testicles, right, after you're a newbie, after 2 months, and they start squeezing. And they squeeze and they squeeze until the driver goes, Jesus, that's painful. I'm not earning any money. Shit. I better decide. Do I carry on, or do I start smartening up? And that's when newbies, you really go and start changing their roadmap. They become more selective. They don't just take any shitty offer, any trip radar. They start realizing there's really no advantage in advantage mode, so we'll stay standard. They've really looked at hundreds and hundreds of trips and say, you know what, nah, I'm not driving for $2 or $3 anymore, nah. Or if they're doing food deliveries and they've been baited a few times, nah, I'm not gonna take food deliveries that don't have some sort of tip attached. So that people wisen up, they learn, and you sort of become a veteran if you have a couple of thousand trips under your belt. And I would say most of my audience, most of the subscribers that I'm talking to, understand the game, understand the Uber, the Lyft, the DoorDash, the Uber Eats game. And then they figure out a way how to make more than the average or more than a newbie. I would just kindly ask everyone, just so that we can get a little bit momentum on this video and a little bit of ranking for this video, if you would be so kind, because there's 54 people in the house. I welcome you all, but can we smash this thing? It looks like this. It's like a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody, thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate that. Trip Scene says you're always honest and true, Professor. I appreciate you saying that, because if people that I'm not shy to admit my faults, right? And I'm not shy to talk about the history and how my channel has evolved. And the one thing that I got to share with people, and this goes to your comment, I want to answer Trip Scenes here. He's in the house. Is that in the beginning, my friends, under Travis Kalanick, the days where, man, I was making money in the SUV, right? $4 a mile. They were throwing money at you, and they were definitely throwing money at you when you referred drivers. By the way, they would maybe pay, like, for example, in California, in my state, $50 for a Barstow or for a Bakersfield lead. They would pay $300 for a San Diego lead. They would pay $700 for a Los Angeles or San Francisco lead, and you were making money. And my channel pretty much started, in and around that time, 2015. Drivers were making money. Under Travis Kalanick, I can tell you, any veteran will back me up on this. Drivers were making money. At least they were paying you. And maybe the ratio was 30% them, 70% you. Interesting, right? From Travis Kalanick to Dara Khosrowshahi, fast forward 9 years, and that 70% you, 30% them, completely flipped. Now it's 70% them, 30% you. So we got to keep it real. We got to talk about the facts. Sometimes the facts and reality is a little bit painful, but we have to be honest to ourselves. And by the way, this is a reality check that all of you can do with yourself. If you are unhappy, if you're grumpy every single day, it's like, oh, F this, F that, screw these guys, really don't want to get up and get out to work because they're not paying me. Take a step back, my friends. Maybe take the weekend off and really reassess things. Is this for you? Is this UberX for me? Or do I need to change course? Or do I maybe want to get into a higher category? Or do I maybe want to become a private driver? Or do I maybe want to get out of rideshare completely? Or do I maybe want to get out of food delivery completely? Or do I maybe want to go and try it out in a different city? If I'm in LA, do I maybe want to go and try it out in Vegas? If I'm in Vegas, do I maybe want to go and try it out in Los Angeles? And you have to be honest to yourself. You have to be honest to yourself. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, listen, Torsten, are you happy? No, I'm happy, and I tell you why. Because I love my private clients, and I make a shitload of money each month with my private clients and with my fleet, renting out my cars. But that's just one type of my business. I have other businesses. And in general, I am a happy person. But I also have become rather angry towards these companies, or not necessarily angry, more upset and disappointed with the way they treat people, with the way they treat the gig workers, the way they treat the rideshare drivers, the way they, so that upset has completely, that's a new feeling, right? And it upsets me when, and I got to be honest with myself, it upsets me that they believe they can get away with this shit, right? Like $5, which includes 5% extra advantage mode. And advantage mode is just a big fat scam and lie, right? It's a very dubious way of sucking you in and try to, we'll make you feel, more, we'll make you feel more valuable by giving you this advantage mode stamp. Otherwise, you're just a regular standard driver. And a lot of people buy into that bullshit psychology. Do not buy into the psychological game of the gig companies, rideshare companies. Do not buy into the medal system. Do not buy into, when they want you to do hundreds of trips for a fairly decent offer, where they're offering you some type of reward or baiting you with a surge. You cannot, in 2025, you cannot play that game, because if they have you hooked and they have you sucked into that system, they are making money. You are not making money. So can you outsmart them? Yes. I would say one of the most smartest ways to outsmart them is to systematically take their clients and turn those clients into your clients. Another big believer of that formula is a friend in Arizona, Jeff Watts. But if they have you hooked, if they have you in that wheel, and you believe it's going to get better because you got to reach advantage mode, you got to reach advantage mode, you got to reach advantage mode, you got to reach platinum, then they've got you and you're losing, guaranteed. And if the money is not there, if you're tired, if it's affecting your relationship, your marriage, if it's affecting your relationship with your children, if you see yourself becoming more snappy, agitated, angry, if you're screaming, if you have outbursts, you're just not your normal self, you got to ask yourself, is this frickin' job starting to affect me psychologically? It's a valid question, right? And now that I'm in advantage mode and I'm driving more and I'm putting in more hours, how is my mood changing? How's my attitude changing towards, my family, my kids, my wife, my girlfriend? Ask yourself that. Best time to ask yourself that is in the morning. You're in the bathroom, you're getting ready to shower, you're brushing your teeth. There you are, right in front of you. There's the person, that's you in the mirror. Am I happy? Am I happy with what I'm doing? Does it satisfy me? Now, I was at LAX early on, and I saw the biggest dickhead cop ever. First, I'm there a lot. Short little guy, blondish hair, angry, like anger, shouting at people. Stop talking, shut up, get out, get your car out of here. Talking to children, talking to teenagers like that, adults. Just angry, bitter. And he comes up to me, and this is the type of person you do not want to change into, because this is what your job, this is what your work can do to you. It can change you, right? And I see this guy coming up behind me, and I hate that feeling when I'm at LAX arrivals. Maybe you guys know this, and they're coming out and they want to kick you out, or they have a whistle, or they have a light and they're flashing the light. I get it. You want me to get out. I get it. And I comply. I get it, right? But this guy, oh my God, he was just like asinine. He was toxic, and he was screaming at people, and I don't know, maybe he was having a bad day, but I could tell it was starting to become, his job was starting to become part of his DNA. He was a little angry little man, filled with a lot of venom, a lot of toxicity, a lot of hatred. And he comes up to my window and he goes, "Get your car out of here." I'm like, I can't move to the left, there's a car. I can't move in front, there's a car in front of me. There's a small gap, I cannot fit in there. "I don't want your excuses, get your car out of here." I said, "Sir, listen to me. Move that car in front of me or the car on the left and I can get out. Stop making excuses, I'm gonna give you a fine." And then I said something to him. Maybe I should not have said it. I said, while I was standing on the other side, I was listening to you and watching you speak to people. Don't you ever speak to me like that. You can talk to your dog like that. But I'm telling you right now, you will not talk to me like that. I have the proof. I have the videos because I was videoing. And if I decide to send that video into LAX management, and I know the people at LAX management, they will question whether you're the right man for the job. That's all I have to say. So move that car in front of me or the side, and I will get out. I'll follow your orders. I'm writing you up. I said, you go ahead and write me a fine if it gets you excited. If it, I almost said if it gives you a hard on. I didn't, thank God I shut up, right? But I said, if you really need to give me a fine, go ahead. But I'll tell you, I've already told you what the consequences will be. And he took sort of a step back. He put his paper down. He was angry, but I hit him. I hit his nerve. And he knew that if he'd followed through with that fine, I would potentially turn in those videos, that proof, that evidence of what his job turned him into. And he was a newbie, but he was probably a newbie not enjoying the job. And so I'm using that example to share with you. Why? Because it also applies for rideshare and food delivery. I mean, do you get upset when they talk to you as a standard driver or an advantage driver, and they're disrespecting you with this bullshit pay, and they're expecting you to drive all these dead miles and do all this crazy work and shit? Flo Kunle in the house, love you, brother. Miss Flo Kunle, you got to send me a picture of the fam. I want to see how the kids are growing up. He says, thanks for all your hard work. The cop needs some donuts. Good idea. I'm going to buy him some donuts. I should buy him some nice sugary donuts, glazed donuts. And if I see him at the airport, I maybe should go outside the airport, get some donuts and give it to him. Maybe that's a good idea. But that little incident taught me a lot once again. Like, this person certainly does not enjoy their job, right? And you got to ask Flo. He's brilliant at what he does, right? In his videos, in his studio, in his speaking style, in his editing, he's brilliant. And I can tell you something about Flo. Never seen the man not smiling. So he loves his job. So it's important that you love your job. You cannot go in, day out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some people work 7 days a week. You cannot go in hating your job, hating the pay, because it's going to change your DNA, right? Peanuts. Orlando says, called it peanuts. Yeah. Like if they feed you peanuts every day, right? Or breadcrumbs. No. You cannot play that game. You cannot get sucked into that little psychological bullshit game. Please, I beg you, I ask you kindly, just take a step back. Is my gig job changing me? Am I affected? Am I offended that they are talking about standard driver mode and advantage, and they're trying to force me? And does it upset me? You got to detach from that bullshit. You got to say standard mode, advantage mode, arsehole mode, Dara Khosrowshahi mode, David Risher mode, all trash. I don't need that. I know my game. I know my city. I know my streets. I know my hours. I know my car. I know my clientele. And I know how to make money. Now, those statements that I just read to you, I truly live up to that formula every single day with my private clients. I love my private clients. I love them. And if I don't enjoy a private, I cut them loose. Hey goose, I gotta cut you loose. I only keep the people, 98% of them, that I love. I enjoy working for. I enjoy their company. They enrichen my life in so many different ways. At a client at 1:30. Oh my God, I got stuck in a situation. Can you bail me out? Can you get to the airport, pick up my friend? She has to go to see a doctor out here. No problem, I'm on my way. If I can do it, and I love my client, and it fits into my agenda, off I go, no questions asked. And man, did she take care of me financially for that trip, right? But like, please, my friends, please, 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 don't do this job if you're hating it every single day. You can buy time, meaning you could maybe carry on for another 1 or 2 months while you actively find another job, or while you actively try out something else. Maybe you sign up on TaskRabbit, or you start driving kids on Hop, Skip and Drive. You just try something else out, and you buy yourself a little bit of time, and you say, I figured out where I'm earning more, and I'm going to make the transition. That's it. It's not difficult. And back to my thumbnail, 2025, in 2016, there I am promoting the companies. Oh, you get great money, sign up, all excited because I'm making money. Very, very, be honest, very, very happy with Uber and Lyft 2016, 2017. Very happy because buying cars, leasing them out to drivers, happy drivers were coming back, 3,000, 3,500 a week they were making with the SUV. Everybody was happy. Travis Kalanick was happy. They were throwing big parties for millions and millions of dollars in San Francisco. And then 2019, things started changing. And even the same with Lyft. When John Zimmer and those guys left and David Risher came in, things changed. Tell you what changed, the pay, big time. Tell you also what changed for the riders, their fares went up. And the greed set in, and the investors wanted more, and the investors wanted more. And who picked up the tab? Who paid the price? We did. And that's when I just said, you know what? Done with you fuckers. Done. I'm going to convert all of those Uber and Lyft riders one by one into my own private clients. 380 clients later. Most of them referrals, but I was an active recruiter very, very heavily for years, taking Uber and Lyft's clients and turned them into my own clients and created healthy relationships. I don't want to have a toxic relationship. I don't want to drive into an area of Chicago and have to fear for my fucking life. Fear that I'm going to get carjacked or unknown, verified bullshit. Like, why would I want to live with that? Now, if you're operating in a college town and you're just driving students all day long, or you're a smart driver like Paul Figueroa in San Diego, or Thomas Gibson in San Diego, if you're a smart driver, even Rideshare Trickster friend who they kicked him off, a smart driver, very, very dialed in, and you know your people, and you're only willing to operate in a very small little area, maybe a college town, or maybe you just drive around UCLA, or you're in Michigan, in one of those little, in Lansing, for example, nice little town. Used to have a hot girlfriend there. You know your turf, you know your clients, maybe they're students, and you feel safe and you're okay, and maybe you're doing a volume of little trips, and maybe it's working for you. And maybe you're a hardcore cherry picker, maybe you have a very, very low acceptance rate, but you figured it out. And the main thing is you figured it out and you're happy. I'm happy doing my job. I want you to be happy tomorrow. I want you to be happy on Saturday and Sunday when you're doing this job. I don't want you to be unhappy. And if you're unhappy, only you can answer that question. Do I need to move on? Am I done with them? A lot of drivers, my friends, are leaving. A lot of drivers are leaving. What do I think about 911, the Porsche, or 911, the event? I don't get into the conspiracy theories. I don't. Mary's Gigs is in the house. Hi, I want to give people a shout out. Maurice is in the house. Daily Intuition is in the house. Flo Kunle is in the house. That driver is in the house. My acceptance rate on both apps is 0. I love it. My acceptance rate. No, I'm done. 0%. And that you know what? That's good that you can admit it. Like, I'm reading the comment by that driver, and honestly, you have a lot of. I have tremendous respect for you when you say, you know what, my anger is at an all-time high, my acceptance rate is 0. And you know, don't let that anger take over your, I don't know your first name, maybe you can introduce yourself with your first name, but I know you as that driver because it says there, that driver, that's your profile name. I just don't want that anger to take over your life, that you upset every single day. And I fully understand and respect why your acceptance rate is 0. So I have a lot of compassion there. I have a lot of understanding. You know, you're probably done. You're probably at that point where you say, listen, it's not even worth it. I don't want to carry my anger into my home. I don't want to carry that energy, that toxic energy that's rubbing off from Uber and Lyft into my house and share that with my wife, my girlfriend, my kids. Hell no. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Passive income all day long. Christopher McIntyre in the house. I work 70 to 80 hours a week. Those are a lot of hours, Christopher. My question to you, Christopher, is, are you happy? Are you happy after 70, 80 hours? And a lot of people, I totally get it. A lot of people say, oh, I love being in the car. I love doing 70, 80 hours. I understand that because they love being around humans. They love humans. They love communicating. They love sharing their time with humans. I get it. I completely get it and understand it. Understand if you're honest to me and you say, hey, you know what? I'm in the car 70, 80 hours a week and I love it. I just absolutely love rideshare because I get to meet people. I'm learning from them. I'm sharing with them. I get it. I fully understand. Right? Greg is in the house. Volk is in the house as I quit Uber. Maybe you could share why you quit Uber. You could share that with us. Trip Scenes has already shared a lot of good stuff with us. Texas Mike is in the house. Facts, my friend, facts. Love facts. Brad Chow is in the house. Ivan's in the house. Tom Dulla's in the house. Oh Craps with David's in the house. Joseph Fontina's in the house. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Logic Party's in the house. Juan Suarez is in the house. Corey Toe is in the house. Stephen Winks is in the house. And everyone else, and one more, Voltaic Ride. Hopefully I've given everybody a shout. If I've left you out, please, Latifa's in the house. How are you, Latifa? Good to see you. Danny Curry's in the house. Says Uber sucks. You will have your reasons why you write that. If somebody says Uber sucks, they have their reasons. Listen to them. Learn from them. My question is, why does Uber suck? It's very easy for a lot of people to answer that. You know, Danny comes out and says Uber sucks, and I say, well, Danny, why does Uber suck? Because blah 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 blah. We here, we sharing, we caring. So you have an audience, you have me, I'm reading, I'm trying to read everyone. While I'm driving, I'm trying to read. I'm driving very slow, the traffic is extremely heavy. I'm on the 405, I'm by the Getty Center. Pretty much everything on the right towards the coast is all burnt down. Pacific Palisades, Malibu, all gone. Topanga, all burnt down. So here I am driving through heavy traffic, enjoying your company, learning from you, sharing with you, and we just got to be honest here. We got to be honest. Like if somebody, oh, Lyft sucks, DoorDash sucks, Uber sucks. Why does it suck? So I've been pretty open about the fact that you know that the yeah, I've got a charger trying to cut in and out of traffic. He's just going to cause an accident. Those little young guns in their chargers, too much horsepower, too little brains, too much testosterone. A lot of accidents happen here in LA because of these idiots that love racing. They don't know how to drive a car or race a car, but they try it and then they pay the price. Richard's in the house, Richard Flaxman. Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. We're sharing, we're caring, and you know, hopefully we can learn from one another. And I mean, I have really, you know, I have a cool audience that I've built over the years, subscribers, and many of them have become friends. Any really type of haters or racists, I flushed them out. I've kicked a lot of people out of my channel. A lot of bullshitters, a lot of bullshit talkers, a lot of haters. You know, a chance or two. But when I just see the stop toxicity and just trolling and anger and hatred, I kick a person out. But I have all the time in the day for someone, and I'll listen to them if they say, listen, I'm getting angry, Uber sucks, and here is why. This is what Uber or Lyft is doing to me, right? There are so messages, my friends, that I had to, you know, that are threatening towards executives, CEOs, and I can't allow that in my channel, right? Because if, you know, some people have bad intentions, so that's not what we're promoting. We're not promoting bad intentions here or evil doings. We're not doing that. We're trying to keep it real and trying to assess. We're trying to do like a reality check with ourselves, a reality check, just me, the mirror, and then the questions I have to ask the person in the mirror, he or she, right? Am I happy doing this job? Simple question, right? Question mark. Am I happy doing this job? Yeah, I love working 70, 80 hours and I enjoy it. Good. Answered the question. No, I absolutely hate it because this and this and this and this reason. So I if anything today, I hope this video, we're 50 minutes into the video, I hope the video inspires you to do a reality check with yourself. Where am I in my life? Am I pursuing my goals? Am I setting goals for myself? Am I ambitious? Am I not? Am I happy with the way it is? Do I expect more? Do I need to set higher goals? All really, really good questions that you can only ask one person, yourself, right? Your girlfriend, your wife, or your kids might say, hey, Dad, what's wrong with you, right? Thank God my kids don't say that to me. Love being around my kids, love being around my wife. absolutely, absolutely love my wife and my children. They are my everything, right? They make me happy. I love making them happy. And we communicate, we share. Not everyone can have a perfect day. But if day in, day out, people around you are noticing the change, and they tell you, hey, I want to make you aware. You sound very, very negative. You become very angry. You become very explosive. Oh wow, really? Thank you for telling me. Let me go and check what's going on in my life. Let me go and do that little reality check that Rideshare Professor spoke about. It's important, my friends. You live with anger, like that policeman that I brought up today at LAX. I mean, you're going to shave 20 years off your life, or you're going to get a heart attack, or you're just going to be bitter and people are going to leave you, or your wife's going to divorce you, or your husband's going to divorce you. Not worth it. Not worth it. If you can change it, change it. If you do catch yourself after your little reality check, maybe tomorrow morning as you look in the mirror, you're brushing your teeth, am I happy? Am I happy doing my job? No, I am not happy. I am not happy. And the little voice comes like, why are you not happy? Because. Okay. Take that information, take the weekend off, and reevaluate. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a reality check. There's nothing wrong with reevaluating. There's nothing wrong with changing direction. Even if you're 60 or 70 or 80, you can still change direction. Come on, man. It's all here. It's all mental. Geo in Cali. Whatever happened to Uber and Lyft wage theft case? Oh, okay. So there are multiple wage theft cases going on. I mean, one wage theft case in New York, brought by the Attorney General, was settled by Uber and Lyft, I believe. Don't quote me on the numbers. I think it was about $320 million. And then they showed you how you qualified for that money. Now in California, there's probably about $1.4 billion wage theft. They're negotiating. And I know that some of the unions, organizations have put pressure on them, tremendous pressure on them. For example, Rideshare Drivers United, who back then, when this was all going down, I think, you know, the years that you could claim for wage theft, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 2016 to 2020. It was like a 4-year window where you could put your claim in. If you drove a lot, you had a claim. You could have filed it with the state of California, got yourself an attorney like I did, you know. So there were ways and means of going after your money. There were definitely ways and means of going after your money. A lot of people now, they're like, oh my God, yeah, I drove back then, but I had no clue. It was everywhere. The writing, it was all over the news. The ways of collecting your wage theft were advertised everywhere. But some people missed that opportunity. Now, there might still be, I don't know what the statute of limitations are. I really don't think you have a chance of collecting any monies that were due between 2016 and 2020, and you're in 2025. I don't know. Maybe the statute of limitations might be 3 or 4 years in California. So maybe you snoozed. Maybe you lost that opportunity. Maybe that window is closed. Or maybe you filed back then and you part of a big group, thousands and thousands of drivers that filed, and you're like, maybe the day is coming. That $1.3 billion that they owe the drivers over wage, maybe that's coming. So maybe it's very, very close. All I know right now is that there are some sort of negotiations taking place for several thousand drivers. I think the number is about 5,000 California drivers that are still waiting on their money. I want you to get paid. I was a big fighter in the day. Me personally, you can ask Mark Potter from Potter. I brought in $80 million of settlements for drivers. $80 million. California. Just in California. Now on monies lost due to deactivation, because you were kicked off the platform and you were losing money and they wrongfully deactivated you, I mean, there you could probably add another $70-80 million that I've helped drivers collect nationwide, not just California. But wage theft was a big thing. In Massachusetts, I was working with a big law firm. In California, I was working with a big law firm. And my channel, at least Rideshare Professor channel, at least the drivers that I brought to these attorneys, big money. That is one thing I do know, is how to refer and recruit. It boils down to marketing. So there were a lot of drivers between 2016 and 2020 that filed and collected, California at least. New York also settled, they got their monies. And there's also a lot of drivers that missed out on that window. So the big cheese, I like that, the big cheese says it also appears that if you were not the first 5,000 people who signed this wage theft thing, you can still get it. Okay, that's really cool, as long as you drove. Okay, that's great. I mean, if that's true, the big cheese, please share with us, or maybe you have a link where drivers that were not part of those first 5,000 can go to collect that money. And I hope that is right. I hope what you are saying is right. It sounds promising. And if you could just back that up with some literature or with some links, I'd appreciate that. Richard Flaxman says, I can't remember the company, but they were keeping the drivers tips and got found out. Oh, that was DoorDash. And it wasn't only DoorDash. I think Uber Eats was doing it as well. Tip stealing. I mean, not even tip baiting, tip stealing. I mean, Tony Zhu from DoorDash, he should be, my friends, these people should all be in jail. Tony Zhu should be behind bars. Dara Khosrowshahi should be behind bars. These people engaged in millions and millions, if not billions of dollars in theft. They should be locked up, right? They should be locked up, and they should be looking through the bars and saying, let me out of here. I don't want to be in jail. But I know why I'm in jail, because I stole from these people. These people should be in jail, my friends. These CEOs should be in jail. How did they get a get free card? Seriously. I mean, how did they use their Monopoly card, that get out of jail free card? How? They stole so much money. And both administrations, the Biden administration and the Trump administration, did not hold them accountable, did not put them in jail. Whether it was Trump's first 4 years or Biden's 4 years, they were not put in jail. All of those CEOs should be behind bars. Who gets away? If you pull that shit in Japan, you done. You locked. If a CEO pulled that shit in Japan, they have extremely high ethics and morals. You would be in Dara Khosrowshahi operating that way would be in jail. Dara, if you're listening in, you know that. If you were the CEO operating in Japan, they would have locked you up. They would have locked your ass up for all the fraud and the theft and the tip baiting that you have engaged in. The monies you have stolen, stolen from drivers. In Japan, they would have locked his ass up. Facts. So Steve Williams, you are 100% correct. Read what Steve Williams says there. The CEOs should be in jail. Yes, they should. And they are lucky. They are lucky that they were not operating in Japan, in Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto. They would have been in jail. Geo in Cali says, as a driver in the Bay Area, the pay is horrendous. Yeah, I heard that San Francisco is just the shambles. And you know why? It's that frickin' Waymo. Waymo is so deeply embedded in San Francisco, and Waymo doesn't pay for traffic fines. Waymo gets this. Waymo gets free toilet paper. Waymo gets their ass kicked. Not kicked. They get their ass licked for free in San Francisco. All about Waymo, and it has destroyed the market for drivers. So the San Francisco rideshare market is in shambles. And the more these AVs make inroads into Atlanta, into Austin, LA, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. So please be 62 minutes. We're over 1 hour. We have 46 people in the house. If you can get me up, I always like to try and get the same amounts of thumbs ups or likes as I have people in the house. If you can help me get it up to 46, that's sort of my goal. We have 47 people in the house. If you can smash the like button if you just came in. The more likes, the more YouTube shares the video in the algorithm, the more people can learn about advantage mode, which I call disadvantage mode. I'm under a bridge right now, it's dark. Or standard mode, advantage mode, bullshit. Just look at the thumbnail that I uploaded. I mean, how can you come out as a company and offer a $5 trip for 22 minutes, which includes 5% advantage mode? That means you've taken that standard driver that would they classify as a peasant, right? That standard driver means nothing. But hey, you can work your ass off and you can become an advantage driver. And if you become an advantage driver, we're going to give you 5% more. And we are going to start feeding you $5 bullshit offers, which include 5%. Look at the thumbnail, not making this up. So that's really what the video is about. Obviously, in a live feed, there's a lot of interaction, a lot of questions, a lot of sharing, and we cover multiple topics. Which YouTuber doesn't cover 10, 15 topics during a live feed? Most of them do. Eric W's in the house. Ivan says, urgent, I just got called. W says, I like Rideshare United's proposed pay, $1.65 a mile and 60 cents a minute. Of course, Uber will never cave into that, but that would mean I can get you can get your new brakes. Now, we were there. I was driving for $4 a mile once upon a time. $4 a mile with my SUV. on the Uber platform. You know, I drove from Santa Monica to San Diego and got $750. 2.5 hour trip. I mean, you're not going to do a 2.5 hour trip for $750? Of course you will. What are they going to pay today? That same 2.5 hour trip, Santa Monica, which is LA, part of LA. I'm driving past Santa Monica right now, all the way down to San Diego. What will they be paying now? If you're driving a Cadillac or a Suburban gas, a Suburban diesel, doesn't matter, right? Or a big SUV, what would they be paying you now? Certainly not $4 a mile. So that is not unreasonable what RDU, Rideshare Drivers United, is asking for. That's not unreasonable. That is extremely fair. It's extremely achievable. But you have a couple of CEOs who should be in jail and who should be replaced by people that have ethics. And there's good CEOs out there. There's really, really good CEOs out there. There are. The CEO of Costco, apparently, people love him. You know, or that CEO of the insurance company that got bumped off because people hated him. So I'm just saying, RDU's proposal is very, very reasonable and very realistic and really pretty damn easy for Uber and Lyft to implement. But hell no, we are not going to pay you that. Hell no. Our investors would go nuts. Our investors would shit themselves if they found out we offered that to you, or we would reach a deal with Rideshare Drivers United over a very, very simple and realistic pay structure. The investors would soil themselves. They would crap themselves. They would have diarrhea. Vanessa is in the house. Love you. Appreciate you, my dear. Vanessa De La Cruz in the house. Carnegie Master is in the house. They could offer 40%, but 40% of puck all is still zero. You're right. 40% of puck all is still zero. 100% correct. That's a true mathematic formula, my friend. Oh, well, that very kind of you to say that. Very nice of you to say that. You know, I mean, I've run companies where I've had 150 employees in my company. In 2006, I sold the company for a lot of money, and every Friday, happy hour, 3 o'clock, stop working, happy hour, playroom open, pool tables, drinks. Ask my staff, ask David Reinprecht, ask Victoria Shirazi, ask Chris, ask my managers, ask Andrew Carmen. Every Friday, I would have a happy hour after 3 p.m. Now, you couldn't drink until you got drunk because I wouldn't let you drive, but you got a margarita, you got your burrito, you got all the games and entertainment. People loved it. People loved coming to work, and productivity was high, sales were high, so we sold the company for a lot of money. So it's how you treat people, man. You know, how you want to be treated is really the way you should be treating other people. But if I had to ask Dara Khosrowshahi or David Risher, how do you want to be treated, David Risher? Or how do you want to be treated, Dara Khosrowshahi? Or I want to be treated fairly. I want to be treated with respect. And so on and so on. Well, guess what? So do we. So if you are not practicing what you are preaching, then something is horribly wrong in your formula, Dara Khosrowshahi. Now, Dara Khosrowshahi, believe me when I say this, I have my business degree, I have my psychology degree, I have my master's in psychology. And everything that I've read up about that man, it really goes back to his hard childhood and the way his parents lost everything, and that's who he became. He became a very stingy motherfucker. Very greedy, stingy guy. And he can put on this little show all he wants on TV and in front of Bloomberg and in front of Fortune and in interviews. He can put on all this little game. But deep down is actually a pretty jaded, evil man with double standards who should, again, let me repeat this, be in jail. I don't know, but investors don't want him in jail. No, hell no. Investors don't want him in jail because he makes the money on our backs. And he certainly is not treating you or I the way he wishes to be treated, right? So it boils down to humans. How do we work with humans? How do we treat humans? How do we empower humans? How do we bring out the best in humans? Dara Khosrowshahi missed those lessons at school, my friends. And there's an article today, maybe somebody can find it or Google it. If you put Uber News, you'll see. I do believe, it was a paid article, but Dara Khosrowshahi said 2 qualities every successful person, or 2 things everyone should learn. I think he said liberal arts, and I think there was another subject. Maybe you can help me out. He said you become successful, you become more successful, or at least he did, by studying these 2 things. And people who have these qualities, or people that have, studied liberal arts and blah, 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 become successful people. As a human being, I'll be dead honest. I don't see him as a liked, successful human being. His bank account might be solid, he might have the 100 stacked in his bank account, but as a person, as an individual, as a person who walked away from his first marriage and left his kids behind, I really feel sorry for those kids out of his first marriage, because he completely gave them the cold shoulder. Went off, had another 2 kids, and just seems like a very angry, bitter person based on the history, the past, what he went through as a child, what his parents went through. It almost looks like payback. I gotta pay back. I gotta get these people back. Right, so that's just my opinion. Your opinion may differ, but I don't see him as a great human being. I don't see him as somebody who's gonna go down in the history books. He didn't even invent Uber. Travis Kalanick and some other people invented Uber. So he was, or still is, the captain at the steering wheel of Uber, but there's not going to be anything in the history books about Dara Khosrowshahi. And if you just go around the world and ask for an opinion on Dara Khosrowshahi, sure, investors might say, Wall Street might say, hey, he's a good guy. But the majority of America, the majority of Europe, anybody that heard his name, including you, including me, pretty 99% sure we think he's an arsehole. Why? Because he is an arsehole. Vanessa says Dara would be one grease ball I would never ever marry. I love it. That's powerful. That's a powerful statement from a woman. He's a greaseball, he's an asshole, and even if he's like, he's trying to win you over, Vanessa. He's buying you flowers, he's buying you dresses, he buys you a convertible. Marry me, Vanessa. And you're like, hell no, dude. I know who you are. I know how you roll. I know that you're a greaseball. You should be in jail. So you won't marry me? You won't get engaged? And Vanessa says, hell no. Hit the highway. You see, it tells me you have a lot of integrity and good decision, Vanessa. Vanessa, do not marry Dara Khosrowshahi, okay? We're on the same page. Driving with spice, I like that. Driving with spice. Driving with cayenne pepper. Driving with pepper. Driving with salt. Driving with cinnamon. Spicy, I love it. Driving with spice, welcome. LOL, LOL is a great, LOL, laughing out loud, WTF, what the fuck, all of these little abbreviations, we know them, we use them on the phone. LOL is a really positive one because it means you've created that little tickle in the stomach, that laugh. Something prompted you to write LOL. I just laughed out loud. Good. I'm happy. Makes me happy to read that somebody writes LOL. Means you gave someone a laugh, which is amazing. It's positive. We got to laugh daily, my friends. You're not cry in your cushion. You want to laugh out loud with your friends. Ha ha, that was funny. I enjoyed that joke. You go to a comedy show like that laugh. It's good. It's healthier than crying in your cushion. Vanessa. Okay, Vanessa's rolling here. Vanessa's coming on strong here. She'll say to him, I'll say, you see the door over there? Make your way out. Bye-bye now. Love it. Bye-bye, Dara. There's the door, honey. Take a hike. Excellent. And what I would do is like, if I'm a girl and if I was a girl and Dara was pursuing me, I'm like, bye-bye, there's the door. And hey, Mr. Prison Warden, here's the keys. Lock him up. Driving with spice. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, I had a good time. It was 77 minutes. I cannot even believe I'm not even at LAX yet, and I've been driving 2 hours. You know why? Because Pacific Coast Highway is shut down because of all the fires, the houses, and the entire PCH is shut down. So all the freaking traffic, LA drivers will know exactly what I'm talking about. All the traffic goes onto the 101 and the 405. It is brutal. Brutal. You also drive there? Yeah, there's military people at those checkpoints in Malibu and in Santa Monica. Like people in uniform, machine guns. I guess they're just trying to keep out the looters and the bad guys. Great, so we have 37 people in the house. I have 45 likes. I officially have more likes than people in the house. That makes me happy. And on Sunset, yes. They're on Sunset as well, yeah. They're stopping, they're doing a residency check on Sunset for the people that want to go into Pacific Palisades. You basically have to show, or you have this red issued permit from the state that you can actually drive through that checkpoint. I had one for one day. I wish I'd made a photocopy. I mean, I would literally save 45 minutes on every trip to the airport if I could go on PCH. But I'm not a resident. I'm not a resident. Now, I want to say thank you for all the people in the house. Thank you for sharing good laughs. Thank you for sharing good information and suggestions. I'm going to get some water. I'm losing my voice. I'm almost at the airport. Concentrating on the traffic. By the way, I'm driving 8 miles per hour, 8 mph. Super excited as a kid. We'll be picking up my Porsche 911 Turbo in Texas next week. Cannot wait. I'm like a little boy who has to get his toy. And hopefully while I'm out there, I get to meet some of you. Yeah, W said it correctly. I think a blood-sucking leech has more integrity than Dara Khosrowshahi. Amen. Thank you. You are right. You're 100% right. And Dara, if you're listening into the video, or maybe his wife Sydney is listening in, this is how people are talking about you. So you must be an arsehole, right? If people say that, people express that, they must truly think you're an arsehole, which you are. I know he's an arsehole. That's just my opinion. But I'm sharing, it's interesting that I'm sharing that opinion with millions of other people around the world. They truly think this guy is an arsehole. And many people think he should be in jail. And like I said before, if Dara, CEO of Uber, was operating in Japan the way he is right now, he would be in jail. Yeah, when I lived in South Africa, in Cape Town, I used to have that 911, and I'm buying the same car I had in my 20s. So super excited. I'll be sharing a video with you. Paint 10 out of 10. Interior 10 out of 10. Engine 9.9 out of 10. I mean, the car is flawless and fast. Flawless and fast. John Freeman in the house. So if I come to Kelly, I can't drive up famous. No, unfortunately you can't drive up the famous PCH. Well, hang on. You can drive on the PCH. There's a lot of PCH you can drive. You just can't drive PCH past Pacific Palisades, and you can't drive maybe half of the Malibu stretch. But now you can drive on PCH 100%. I mean, PCH goes all the way through Palos Verdes, San Pedro, all the way down through Long Beach and on. So yeah, you can drive a huge stretch of the Pacific Coast Highway. You know, so I'll correct myself. If you cannot drive on the PCH, if you're trying to go from Santa Monica to about Nobu in Malibu, shut down. Much love to you all. Happy Thursday. Have an amazing Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Be safe out there. Please be alert 360. Have your pepper spray. Have your doors locked. Have your windows locked. Any people that are weird or give you a wrong vibe or that feeling in your stomach where you're just not feeling safe, drive away. Drive away. If you have to cancel, you cancel. Your life, your safety is worth way more than any potential dollar you can earn in the gig economy. Please, I urge you, be safe and alert at all times. Sometimes we let our guard down, or we get tired and we do stupid things. Be on the ball every minute and every second. You have someone in the car, or when you're about to pick up someone. But the same goes for driving through the traffic. You got to be on the ball. You got to know 360 what the hell is happening around me as I'm driving. It's the same formula. You cannot take your attention off the safety matter for 1 second, my friends. Especially when you are transporting humans, because you do not know who is about to get into your car. So please, I urge you, I beg you, be safe, be alert, know your surroundings, know your neighborhoods, and follow your gut. Amen. Drive safe, everyone. Have a good one. Have a good night. It was wonderful connecting with you all. I really needed this live feed. I haven't been very active with videos. I'll come back powerful on Monday. And then I'm also excited to share with you my new toys. God bless you all. I'm now going to stop, do a pit stop, have a coffee. I'm almost at LAX. I'm on Sepulveda, probably a mile and a half away from LAX. If anyone is down at LAX right now or wants a coffee, I'll be at Drollinger and Sepulveda. I'll buy you a coffee. But I think that particular Starbucks closes at 8 p.m. I need another coffee. And I need my third coffee for the day because I've literally been driving non-stop since 4 a.m. It's going to end up being about $1,100-$1,200 a day, one day. But I got to say, I've been busting my balls since 4 o'clock this morning. A lot of trips, a lot of miles today. And talking about miles, I need to get gasoline very quickly, very soon. But I think I'm going to get my Starbucks first before Starbucks closes. Anybody's down there, you're welcome to hit me up. I'll get you a coffee. And then I'm going to head over to the gas station, which is about 2 streets up, fill up, maybe go into Trader Joe's, get myself some food, some healthy food at Trader Joe's. And then I'm ready for my client. I'm ready for the last client of the night. Vanessa, good talking to you. Driving Spice, everyone in the house, Orlando, Richard, every one of you, 35 people in the house. I acknowledge you. I appreciate you. Everyone that was in the feed early on, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you all. Please, please be safe out there. Take care, everyone. Give your family a hug, your husband a hug, your wife a hug, your children a hug, and have yourself a blessed weekend, my friends. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Thank you.